What up to my peoples, and welcome to Retro Crunch. In our first retro news of the week, Dungeons and Dragons. You either loved it or you probably have no idea what it is. It's actually the most widely recognized game in the role-playing game industry. Hugely popular nowadays, but back in the 1970s and 80s, it was a whole new way for people to really enjoy telling those fantasy stories that they could actually play in. And one thing that I really enjoy playing in my free time is definitely Dungeons and Dragons. I get to play with a group of 6 other people, and we're currently in this really long campaign, and this is probably one of the best storylines that I've ever played in. And that's thanks to a really good DM that really loves the game. By DM, I mean Dungeon Master. And here's what our D&D room looks like, and this is just so you could see how serious our Dungeon Master is for the game. But what I want to let other D&D fans know about is a home video that I found on YouTube of some kids back in 1981 that were actually playing a game session of D&D. Now, I know there's D&D sessions out there that you can find, but I thought this one was particularly interesting because it was from 1981. D&D is really popular right now, and I think it's cool to see some behind the scenes of what kids back in the early 80s were doing for playing D&D, and especially with a 8mm camera that I don't think they really understood how to use very well. Now, the video doesn't go into the actual gameplay, but you get to see some vintage video of them messing around with the camera and showing the table that they're playing on, which I thought was really cool to see for 1981. From getting glimpses of the dice, the character sheets, and some room maps, to seeing these kids from all walks of life having fun doing D&D in the 80s, it's a cool video that goes down memory lane. If you're a D&D fan, check out the link below. I think you'll really like to see this footage. It's only a few minutes long, but I thought it was really neat, and I know some of you guys are D&D fans, so I wanted to show you. Then next up, Beavis and Butthead Do America. This thing is finally coming to Blu-ray, which is going to be celebrating the 25th anniversary of when it first came out in 1996. The Blu-ray goes on sale on December 7th, so if you have a friend that you need to get that special no-brainer gift, and I mean no-brainer, this is a good one to snag for them. You can get it for pre-order right now for about 15 bucks, pretty much anywhere that sells movies online, and there is a ton of extras that are going to be on the disc that'll really make it worth your while, or for that no-brained loved one that you got to get a gift for. And then real quick, I don't want to spend any time on this, but the new trailer for Masters of the Universe Revelation Part 2, it is already out, and the Part 2 of the series is going to be premiering on Netflix on November 23rd if you want to check it out. And then in some retro news, if you want to own a brand new Chevy Metro from the year 2000 that has only 400 miles on it, there's one for sale right now on bringatrailer.com. I think the bid's at like $18,000 right now, so if you're jonesing for a Metro, you can go check it out at the site down below. Then next up, if you are a fan of Prince and really like the look and the style of the movie Purple Rain, I have a huge treat that you don't want to miss. Now, you might be familiar with the company Sideshow Collectibles, or you might not. Anyway, they're a company that creates highly customized and intricate sculptures, and I believe statues and busts of pop culture characters. Now, they are one of the best in the business, and they just made a sculpt of one of the greatest pop culture icons of all time, Prince. This Prince 1/6 scale tribute statue is being sold by Sideshow Collectibles, and it measures in at 10.5 inches tall by 17.5 inches wide, with the music legend seated on top of this signature purple motorcycle in a iconic display that, if you've ever seen the movie Purple Rain, you will instantly remember and know what I'm talking about. The motorcycle, it is intricately detailed down to the glass window visor and the motor that's on the bike. That thing was so detailed. And then how closely they were able to get to what Prince really looks like in this iconic role from that movie. This is a must-have if you are a die-hard Prince fan, but I do have to warn you, it does have a pretty big price tag. Sideshow has it listed for $7.95 on their website, but I will say that it is a limited edition, and if you are to buy it, you're going to be one of the very few people to ever own a Prince statue that has this much detail. Now, that is a ton of money to spend on the statue, but I wanted to make sure that all my Prince fans out there that watch Retro Crunch, that they know about it, because I know there are some fans out there that want this statue for sure. And if you want to learn more about it, I will link to Sideshow's site down below. And finally, if you're into retro news and nostalgia stuff from back in the day, I'll see you in the next video. I'll catch you on the flip side, and remember, if it ain't retro, it ain't worth watching.